Welcome back, everybody, to more Final Fantasy V. I am Drak, and we have an airship. Seems a little early in the game to get one, isn't it? It's because it is. But that's alright. We're going to make it work. Oh, and look, we may have a cutscene. What's going on down there? Look at the town, baby. So people might remember this is where we met with King Tycoon, we're guessing. And he threw us down into a trap hole. So, yes, he pulled out the trap hole card. There you go, Yu-Gi-Oh reference. Oh, man. Is that the Dark Omen from Chrono Trigger? No, because Chrono Trigger hasn't happened yet. So this is where we actually need to go next. I'm calling it the Earth Fortress. It doesn't really have a name. At least not that I could find. And my strategy guide doesn't have anything for it, just that it's an air fortress. Sid, Mead, I've got something to tell you. Save your breath. We saw the ruins float through our telescope. Spoilers! The Earth Crystal is in it. What? The crystal is what made it float. The machine had been turned off to keep it from breaking, but the Earth Crystal kept the town afloat, but it was stopped when the crystal cracked. So it's been cracked for a while, it sounds like. We've got to hurry! Someone started it up again! You don't think Father? Never. Totally Father. Did Father? No way! It was totally Father. How could we get up that high? With this. Adamantite. If we reinforce the ship with this, it will fly higher. Plus, we can create Wolverine. I knew that, baby. I remember seeing some of the meteorite I wrote in on. You sure? What, you don't believe me, baby? I'm Lando. But your memory, I remembered the adamantite, didn't I? Better see it with me own eyes. Somebody's gonna send this over to Billy D. Williams, and Billy D. Williams is gonna get mad at me. We'll study and get things ready. Hurry and bring us back some adamantite. I have a Wolverine to make. And sorry, Linkara, but I have to do this. Adamantium Rage! So yeah, it's been a while, again. A good couple of weeks, but hopefully not as long. I was able to put up part 11, and the other parts are on the way. But I need to get the recording of them done. Let's see now. Voice print identified. Welcome back, Lando. In there. Sorry, I had to do it. And there's the adamantite. That's it. Oh, that's it. I knew that. How about it? Pretty good memory, huh? How would an amnesiac like you know? Shut up, baby. Received adamantite. We'll rage about it later. Oh no, dark blue. Something's in here. Watch out! It is Dark Bubbles! Gosh, the Shadow Blazer was white! Freaking Bubbles! No, it's just an Adamantoise. I don't know why they call it the Adamantame, but it's Adamantoise. So, while we're taking care of the boss fight, obviously there are a couple of updates that I need to do. So, like I said, the parts are coming. I have to record them, but it is going to happen. I have been able to get some gameplay in, so I have something to talk about in these parts. You know, aside from the Final Fantasy V story, which there kind of isn't any. And before the fanboys come jumping down my throat, it's kind of a simplistic story. So there's not really... Like, if you're expecting 5 to be as complex as, say, 7, no. It's nowhere near. It's very simple. The most complex that this game gets is the job class system. That's pretty much it. So with that, let's actually go ahead and get into some of the game updates that I've been able to play. last time I was talking about Infamous 2. I have played a little bit further into it, and so here's the story as I get it thus far. Oh, well, I guess I'm not talking about it. No, I'll talk about it in a second. First of all, it involves a guy named Cole McGrath, which you already knew. Let's see, what else did you already know? He has a buddy named Zeke. Let's see. Nope, he's gonna talk. Okay, so in the first Infamous, Kessler, or as I like to call him, Cole McGrath future version. You're welcome to the people I just spoiled. So he warns of a great calamity that's going to be coming in, that the whole reason that he was the bad guy in the first game was to prepare you for it, which is something that he called the Beast. Oh, here we go, another cutscene. We'll take care of this in a second. You got it! Quick, let's put it in! But, you and the others rest up. Alright, that sounds to me like a plan. We have to make this look fast, so there has to be multiple sins and means! And faster music! Alright, there we go. Through the power of fast music, we fixed it. While they were taking a nap. I dreamed the airship was done. It's done! Well, that was fast. After liftoff, press the X button to fly higher. What's the X button? Now we can get to the floating ruins, right? Well, it's not that easy. Better take a look at this. It's never that easy. Unless we disable all of their cannons, we won't be able to get in. The book says the cannons are extremely powerful. Uh-huh. But we have to try. Aye. What are y'all worried about? It's just a couple of measly cannons, baby. Thanks, Sid. Mead. Now let's get to that crystal before it's too late. I love the fact that they just got warned about a really powerful cannon, and Bart's kind of shrugged it off. Kind of like I did. There you go. Now we shove off. That's my line, Barts. Well, some of us just don't sound like stereotypical pirates, okay? Now, granted, this is actually a really cool moment in the game, is that you actually get to do this as an open world, but with the airship. So I do compliment it on that, but it wasn't done again, and that's kind of a frustrating aspect. So, with that said, while we're taking care of these cannons, let me go ahead and get into Infamous 2 again. So, Kessler was trying to prepare us for this beast, and when Infamous 2 starts, the beast arrives in Empire City, and it is basically a giant guy with lava powers, I guess is the best way to put it. He's like a giant Human Torch from the newest movie. And so you're slowly trying to whittle your way at it, and kind of like you did in the previous games, and it's just not working. Finally, he just kind of gets super mad at you because he's regenerating like faster than you can actually take him down, and just decides to take Empire City with him. So that's a really great high point to walk into Infamous 2 with, right? Your city's been destroyed. The thing that Kessler was trying to prepare you for, you weren't prepared for. I think Kessler should have rethought his strategy a little bit. But okay. So, in order to get away from the beast and be able to increase power, you talk to a new government agent that you're working with, Agent Quo, and you decide to go to the town of New Marais. And New Marais is basically like a New Orleans kind of analog, where we were in, like, I think Empire City was supposed to be like a Chicago analog. Now we're in a New Orleans one. And wouldn't you just guess, it is completely inhabited by nothing but enemies. Almost like this isn't supposed to be a open world game. So yeah, I've gotten to the point where I've arrived in New Marais. I met Professor Wolf, who I guess was working with the First Sons on the Ray Sphere and has now come up with the... What does he called it? A Ray Inhibitor. I call it the Anti-Ray Sphere, just because that's what it is. And also there's a little thing called Blast Shards. Blast Shards were in the previous game, I believe, and now they're back. The main purpose of having them there is you have to have some way to upgrade Cole's powers. And that's kind of the premise of this, is that you have to upgrade Cole's powers before the beast arrives. And every time you down a mission or you get back into the game, it says, you know, the beast is T-minus this many miles away from New Marais, which I like. It gives a sense of urgency. And it actually lets you feel for the character of Cole in the fact that he thought he was prepared, and he wasn't, and now he's working against time to be prepared for the beast again. So I like that concept. But I will laugh at the game's stupider parts in the fact that, well, New Marais is taken over by a bunch of other different factions that are having superpowered people, and it's like, okay, can we just write this off as like the entire city or the entire world has been Ray-sphered so that Cole can walk around and it makes sense? And in turn, I've done a couple of missions where, you know, I learned the concept of... Basically, I'm in the tutorial missions where you learn the concept of blast shards, you learn the concept of powers. They've actually given you the choice to choose between specific powers. So, in my example, you can have the basic lightning bolt that you had in the first game, or you can have, I believe it's called the pincer bolts, which is just basically 3 little bolts that go out, and I tend to like better, and you can choose between them. You can customize Cole however you want him, which I like. The other added thing I like is that they gave him the amp, I think is what it's called. It's basically a old school Dr. Frankenstein like dynamo turbine, and he's using it as like a lightsaber. And I love that tool because one of those things that kind of irritated me about the original Infamous is that melee wasn't really preferred in it. You really had to stick to your powers if you wanted to get anything done. And that was kind of stupid, in my opinion. I wanted to be able to go up and hit people. And now they give me that option with the amp, and I love the idea. I love the concept of it. I wonder why it took so long to come up with this idea. And I've also begun to confront my first enemy of New Marais, and that is Bertrand. And Bertrand is the equivalent of... I'd want to use like a current media version, because he's supposed to be like the... I hate even going down this route. The Bill O'Reilly, Rush Limbaugh analog. But really what he is he's an immortal Civil War general. Because that's how dumb he sounds in some of his concepts. So I guess to stay like New Orleans, or at least their Sucker Punch's interpretation of New Orleans, is that it was pretty lawless because, well, the cops were even a problem. And now you have these extremists trying to take over, which just makes me just facepalm. We gotta stop. Have we stopped doing this? Can we please stop doing this? The redneck conspiracy theorist is an enemy. Can we stop? Because in a lot of cases, here's what you're trying to do, Sucker Punch and other AAA studios. You're trying to tell me that the dude that wraps himself up in tinfoil or makes the tinfoil hat is an enemy. Really? He's an enemy? I'm supposed to akin dude the conspiracy theorist whack to Magneto? Doesn't really work that way, dude. And so they don't ever come off as legitimate villains. So I'm sorry, Sucker Punch, but if you wanted me to consider this guy as a legitimate villain, you were way off the mark. I laughed at him. And I laughed at the fact that Cole and Zeke were getting so mad at his rally on the stuff that he was saying. I'm like, then walk away! You don't like what the dude is saying, walk away! I mean, we don't... And I love the concept that Cole is, at least in my version, Cole is trying to be a superhero. You know, he's trying to reason with them. But even I kind of looked at it and went, no, I don't have to reason with these guys. They're jackasses. Pardon my French, but they are. So that's kind of where I'm at. I just barely did a mission where I met Bertrand, and he's laughably intimidating. He's not even intimidating to me. But I'm hoping that I get a little bit more out of this, because the first Infamous didn't even go this route, and I'm kind of glad they didn't, because it's kind of dumb. I'm really hoping we get Kessler-esque villains in this game, and I've heard that in Second Son we kind of do, but I want to get through this one first before I start making that judgment. That's all their cannons! Wait, what about that? Yes, anime trope number 1, Bartz. When you kill all the cannons, there's usually a bigger one in the central complex. And holy crap, it's Vegnagun! It's huge. It will trouble us greatly, I'm afeard. And to the person who actually got the Vegnagun reference, you get a point. You get a gold star. I'd give you a cookie, but, well, internet. That and I don't have a cookie with me. So, it looks like we're gonna have to go and take care of the big cannon. Come on, how many people are actually surprised by this concept? We're gonna have to take care of the bigger cannon. We're gonna have to take care of the big guns. So another game that I've actually been able to play recently has been, I've been trying very hard and pushing really hard to finish up Dragon Age Origins, because I really want to be done with it and move on to the next game. So while we're taking care of the the Soul Cannon, the Soul Gun, here's where I'm at in Awakening. So I think last time I said I'd gotten through the Black Marshes and gotten the character Justice. This time around, I actually entered the Wending Wood, and I got a new character out of it. I met Velana, who's an elf, and got to learn a little bit more about the possible new leader of the Darkspawn, which is still a little vague to me, because now they've kind of pointed out 3 different leaders of the Darkspawn now, and that I'm just like, okay, which one is the actual leader? Which one is the crazy one? Because I have no idea. Because when I did the Black Marsh, it was like a crazy spider lady, and in this one, it was a dude straight out of Diablo, I swear. I mean, just the way he looked, I was like, should Blizzard be suing BioWare for copyright infringement over this character? So I met them, and I helped Velana kind of find her. She was actually attacking people in the forest because she was looking for her sister. I helped her find her sister, but her sister is in the throng of this other guy, which just made me kind of laugh. And Velana also took the the oath of the Grey Wardens and survived. So I might readjust her. She's a mage, and I like having a mage and a healer. So I like that. I also kind of resolved any quests that were going on in the Wending Wood, including finding a woman for Wynn, so that they could go to their meeting of mages. And also I came across a Grey Warden who was basically dead, and he asked if I could take his wedding ring back to his wife-to-be, only to find out she was cheating on him. You know, characters in games with morals, I'm not trying to be the dude who's preaching on the soapbox, but it kind of irritates me that there's so many characters in games right now that have virtually no morals. And based solely on the concept of, dude, they have no morals. If they had no morals and there was a reason for it, then fine. But a lot of them just want to say, we want to have this edgy character and we don't want to have to explain why. Can we make it through that opening? It's worth a try. Do it! Sorry, Shia, I have to... Just do it! No, I'm not even going there. That meme is so abused. Okay, so this is the new area where we're going to be going for the Earth Crystal. And I do like the fact that it still kind of maintains that image that the airship base does. Oh, can I get that? No. I have to go all the way around. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on Dragon Age Origins Awakening. I think I'm going to Knotwood Hills next, and then I will probably be done with Awakening, and then I have 2 other DLC packs that I want to go through before I go to the next game. Which I'm excited for because it has a sequel coming out next year, and I really want to get caught up. That's been kind of my goal, so that I can actually start giving you guys legitimate game reviews. I know I've been promising that for a while, but I don't want to give you reviews that are like 3 or 4 years old. Hopefully this will actually allow for me to free up my agenda enough to do that. And then also people have been asking for an update on Drak Let's Play Live. Is it coming back? Yes, it is. It actually might be coming back a little sooner than I thought because, like I said, I can get PC games to work. So I might just do PC games until I can get console games to work. Right now I'm kind of in a weird in-between because I had to replace my PC roughly, and all the software that was on it doesn't work on this new one, so I've had to use new recording materials for a lot of it, which isn't fun, but it's what you gotta do. So with that, yes, it is coming back. It might be very, and I'm going to warn people in advance, it might be very Steam and Blizzard focused, just because those are the multiplayer games I play on PC. We'll try and bring a couple in there in the meantime, but you're going to have to bear with me on that. But I have no intention of not doing it anymore. A lot of people still think that I'm not going to do it anymore because it's too much of a hassle or whatever. No, that's not the case. I just want to give you a good product, and some of the console ones have been kind of frustrating in that regard. They've seemed really good on my end, but then I go back and watch them, and there's problems. So I want to fix that before I give you another console iteration of it. And right now I'm trying to find my way to get a treasure chest, because, yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. But yeah, I'm really excited to get done with Dragon Age, because the next game that I have lined up is a BioWare game that I have not played yet, that people have actually gotten mad at me that I haven't played yet, and it just so happens that it has a game coming out next year. So I want to be up to date. And it's also a story that I want to finish. Despite the fact that people don't like the ending. In case you guys hadn't figured it out, it's Mass Effect 3. Mass Effect 2 was the last one I played, and I played it quite a while ago. But now it's time for me to go into Mass Effect 3. And I'm working on so many other games in the meantime. And the other thing, too, is... So, this has just been my life, you know, a bunch of things breaking down. I had my PC break down a couple of weeks ago, and now my phone broke down. So now I'm transitioning into a new phone. To those who are probably going to ask, yes, I finally caved. I usually am an Android guy, but after talking with a bunch of people on this current generation, it was very much encouraged to me to try out the iPhone to see if it maybe would be able to do all the social networking and other things that I want it to do. So I am trying out an iPhone. Do I like it so far? Too early to tell. Mainly because I've been having trouble getting my contacts over. And people might be wondering, well, why are you having trouble? The reason I had to switch phones is because my previous phone's display died. And so at that point, I can't get into it to get the contacts. So I might have to take it to a phone repair guy to get all the contacts that I want. Which is frustrating, but, you know, maybe one of those things I just have to do. But I'll tell you, I am getting really tired of things breaking down. That might be my Geek News heading right there. And just to the people in Geek News who have been giving me your opinions on Attack on Titan Part 2, whether or not we're going to do it, I think we made it clear on the episode, yes, we are. We're going to do it. We're not exactly all that happy with it, except for Aldo. Aldo's going to be giggling that entire time in the movie, but we are going to do Attack on Titan Part 2. We're going to get that closure for you guys, as well as for ourselves. Although some of us are going to be going very reluctantly. I have a feeling that the Shadow Blazer is going to unleash the Kraken on the movie screen if it isn't good enough. And I would actually... You know what? I'm gonna expect you guys to comment on this. On the episode that he actually unleashed the Kraken, just put a bunch of comments saying, is it a cute Kraken? Because apparently he likes cute, so... And I say that with all love and respect. He's a good guy. But I'm just saying, you know, the guy loves magical girl anime. He loves slice of life anime. So I can't help but wonder if that... Was it actually a Kraken that he unleashed, or was it a cutesy Kraken? Was it a cutesy Kraken, Alex? Was it? I have a feeling it was. I have a feeling it was a very pink Cthulhu-esque cutesy Kraken. So, I guess we'll find out in a little bit. And I think at this point I was actually looking at the map, because as we go deeper into the dungeons of this game, they are going to get a little bit more complex. But with that said, oh, there we go. And there we go. I wanted to get to the gold shield, so now I can utilize it. Let's use it, and we're going to have to go ahead and have to call it this week, or this time. So when we get back, we're going to go further into the Earth Fortress.